Okay, so we've executed card 1, card 2 alpha, again card 2 bravo. We don't have the device, but it's the same as 2 alpha. So now card 3 is on deck. That's a wings level side slip. Oh, actually, my bad. That's wings level stall. So for this one, if I actually get my handy F18 here, the stall will pretty much be a traditional, and again, I'm saying traditional because I'm used to it. Wings level, meaning the wings, if you were to look at it from the front, they're not rotating, they're kind of coming directly at you. And stall, meaning the pilot will pitch up until the air coming to the wings gets to the point where it's pretty much not flowing over it, producing kind of a lift effect. And it will almost feel like it's dropping. Now, in the recovery part of it, as the pilot's coming and pitching up, they might actually rotate and then start pitching down to recover. Recovering meaning they start to get that speed they need to actually start getting lift again on the wings and keep flying. So again, LBO maneuver where you'll have wings level, aircraft is coming, they might start pitching up slowly until it starts to slow down. You'll see the indicated airspeed, and then the aircraft will start to pitch down and kind of fall off the sky. But as they recover, you will start to speed up and they'll return to stable flight. So again, that's kind of the idea of what will happen in this card. Let's try it. Again, not a pilot at all here, just an engineer, and I'm gonna try and execute this. So again, it's you're grabbing your joystick or your mouse, whatever you're using, and we will slowly start to pitch up as we get our indicated airspeed to slow down, and then as we see the nose kind of come down and dive, you could just let go of the control systems and the aircraft will come back and kind of stabilize itself. So what we're looking at here is, okay, what is our initiation of altitude when that happens? So we need to look at our altimeter. We will need to look at our entry stall speed. So again, at what speed did you start to kind of lose that lift effect and start falling? And then on the recovery part, at what point does the aircraft kind of come and stabilize and continue to fly straight? What was the altitude and the indicator airspeed? So again, we're kind of trying to get an idea of at what speed does it start falling? At what speed does it recover? And then in terms of altitude, how much altitude did we lose as we kind of fell through the sky? One thing to keep in mind here is, again, we know what the takeoff speed was, which is again the minimal potentially indicated speed before you start to fly, get that lift effect. So hey, maybe you already know the answer to this, but let's get into it. So card 3 on deck. I will talk as if I were talking to the pilot now. So again, we're actually here on the toe. So let me actually release from the toe. And once on condition, I'll let the pilot know. Ready to tow. Copy. Towing. Release tow. Okay, card 3 on deck. Wings level stall. Setup when ready. Copy. Setup wings level stall. Indicated airspeed is over 50 and ready to execute. Copy. Cleared to maneuver. Copy. Maneuvering in 3, 2, 1. Pitch up. And airspeed is falling. Nose coming down. Releasing controls. Leveled. Okay, so in this case, the pilot might recover, not actually just let it go and recover. Here I actually input it a little bit more to bring it to levels. So if you didn't notice, the indicated airspeed actually, um, from what I noticed, once it was under 45, I noticed that nose kind of dip and dive. And then once the speed was again like over 45, the aircraft seemed like it had stability and the pilot was able to come back and bring it to level flight. Um, I actually didn't capture the altitude. All I know is I was around 4,000 feet when I initially let go, and now I'm at about 3,900 something above the ground. So it seems like I might have lost maybe 50 to 100 feet. I'll try it again. Again, everything passes pretty quick. I'm actually gonna zoom in on my gauges this time so I could see them as I am executing the maneuver. And again, this is why we simulate and practice in real life, because you get to plan and try again. So let me try one more time. Let me unpause it. So again, um, if I'm the FTE, I'll say FTE, and then the communication I'll say, and then pilot, I'll say pilot, and what the pilot I'm expecting the pilot to say. So again, I'm bringing it to level. It's over 50 indicated, so I'm at 55, and I would say card 3 on deck, wings level stall, FTE setup, wings level stall. Pilot when they're ready on conditions, say okay. On conditions, that's the time for you to read what the altitude and your speed is. So I'm at 60 knots, and my altitude, I'll pause here. My altitude is 5,120, 40, 60. That's what I'm reading. It was close, but that's what I read, so that's what I'm gonna write. So 5,150 feet above the ground, and my indicated speed is 60 knots. And once I've written the information down, that's when you'll tell the pilot clear to maneuver so that they could start to execute the maneuver. And ideally, if you could remind them before the card or now, say, hey, can you please say when it's stalled? Because I've never felt that. So I know when to read my indicated airspeed and my altimeter. So let's get to it. I would say clear to maneuver, and pilot would say copy. They might say maneuvering in 3, 2, 1, and you'll start to feel that pitch. And let's see when the nose comes back down. You see how it starts to come down? So I'm pausing here because again, I have the ability to do that, but not in real life. My indicated airspeed is about 40, and my altitude is still about 5,200. So I'll write that as that is my entry to stall. 40 knots indicated airspeed, 5,200 feet altitude. And again, the nose will drop, and when they recover, that's when now I will read the next number, and the pilot hopefully will say recover. So continue. It's coming down, still going down, and it seems like it's recovered. Pause. And my indicator airspeed now is about 45 knots, and my altitude changed about, let's see, I'm at 5,120, 40. So it seems like I've only lost 60 feet in altitude, and I was able to recover, so I would write that down. And now I have both of my numbers, and I could tell the pilot test point complete. So I would go test point complete, and they would say copy. And then I ask, what's the next card on deck? At this moment, I have the information I need, and I could move to the next card. Remember, in the beginning, I didn't actually capture the information I needed, so I had to repeat the maneuver. In reality, I should have said, hey, I would have actually asked the pilot, let's repeat the maneuver. I wasn't able to get the information. Can you please help me by saying start and recover so I know when to pay attention to the dials? And again, the second time I didn't say clear to maneuver until I actually read what my indicated airspeed and altitude were to get an idea of where I was going to be at before he entered stall. So again, that's a couple of the tips of what to do, how you could execute maneuvers again by asking the pilot to just repeat that same card again if you have the ability to do that, meaning the pilot will tell you if it's safe to do or not based on how high in altitude you are, and you would execute the maneuver again. So again, there's no shame, no harm in asking for repeat and actually doing it again in the event that you are not able to get it the first time. So again, that's how you do card 3, and card 4 will be the next one.